YouTube, hello. Welcome back to the Life and Suffering of Sir Brante, attempt dose. If you have not watched the previous playthrough that we have done of the Life and Suffering of Sir Brante, I recommend going back and watching that before continuing onward with this one. As always, if you guys do enjoy the content, feel free to leave a like, maybe subscribe, maybe a comment, or not. Either way, without further delay, let's play. New game. Sir Davvon Jr. Brante, since this is the next reincarnation. Disabled and hidden consequences. I don't want to see my consequences. Before we get further in this, I do want to say these will be in 1 hour increments. I know previously in the first couple of chapters, I did like a 2.5 hour video, like a 2 hour video. I'm doing 1 hour videos for this one, right around that, so I don't burn my throat out, honestly. And we will be doing these videos up until the release of Arkham Horror, which is another game I'm looking forward to, which releases, I believe, on the 23rd, which I believe is a Tuesday. I'm actually going to be putting up a trailer for that game on the channel, so you guys can maybe check it out if you're interested in watching it. I'm super stoked to give it a try, but we'll be playing this and uploading this in increments until that game is released, or we finish this game. Whatever one comes first. I'll finish this, and then we'll be going up till Arkham Horror. I want to finish this. So that's the plan. Let's get into it. You hold the fate of a single man in your hands. You will follow his life from birth to death. Your choices shall define who Sir Brante will grow up to be. You'll decide his personality, social status, and what mark he'll leave on history. With every step he takes at your behest, Sir Brante's character will change and evolve. Your decisions will close some doors for you, but open many others. The world of Sir Brante's birth is a ruthless realm where people are divided into estates. It is hard to be a hero here. Be ready to accept that Sir Brante cannot overcome every challenge in his path. That was my mistake. That was my mistake. Every hard choice will test his character and personal qualities. Often you will not be able to make the choice you would like to. It may happen because you chose a different road earlier, exhausted your hero's willpower, or haven't earned the right position in society. Every victory will be a struggle, a path paved with bitter losses and gut-wrenching failures. Yes, 100% feel this. Accept the tragedy. No, I do not accept. This is how you will create a gripping and unique tale for your hero. What will become of your Sir Brante, his loved ones, and his world? It all depends on you.
The story of my life remains written on these pages, but my fate has always been my own. Every deed, every choice, every person I met made me what I am. Could I have taken a different path? Could I have found a different calling? Altered the very course of history? And what price would I have to pay?
I already feel like we're going back in time here. At the end of time, your fingers are stained with ink. Your breathing grows ragged. Your hands are shaking. Yet the words begin appearing on the page before you one by one, clinging together to form a chronicle of your own life. Who are you, and how did you reach this end? You are born, raised, and lived your entire life in the blessed Archnean Empire. In this land, a man's destiny is predetermined at the moment of his birth. Whether human or Archnean, nobleman or priest or Lobon commoner, all bend to the divine will of the twin gods, and each life is not but a single cog in the universe's immeasurable machine. The memories come flooding back. They engulf you as a merciless wave, binding together days that are thrice dead and gone. The dreams of your childhood, your adolescence, your youth spent in the capital. Years of peace teeming with life and a war drenched in blood. High ranks and lowly deeds, opulent palaces, secretive city backstreets, fields of battle, and faces. So many faces, the people you held dear, the people who walked this road by your side. Such was your life, now all exposed by ink erupting on the page. With your every step, you sought to change the world as you saw fit. The choices of your upbringing, the path you carved in your youth, the fruits of your struggle, the consequences of your sacrifice, all of it led you here to the end of your time, and every choice had a price. Now, years and years later, the crossroads of your life echo in your memory, the pain and joy inextricably intermingled. Could you have taken a different path, chosen a different calling, found a different place in the world? You had the power to alter the very course of history. Now on the verge of death, you struggle with doubt, seeking answers to the last and most crucial question of all. Your life. Of all the paths in life, why did you walk this one? Did you choose your own fate, or was your life shaped by forces beyond your control? What determines a man's destiny? The man himself. You can hear death's footsteps drawing near. You square your shoulders and take a deep, full breath. You have found your final answer. What is the destiny other than a long chain of your own actions and decisions? No matter what happened in your life, you always had a choice. You lived the life you deserved. Only you can answer for it. But are you right about this? Is it all true? To learn the truth, you'll have to return to the very beginning, remembering every step you took along the way. On these pages, the story of a man named Davvon Jr. Brante will live once more. Childhood, 0 years of age. Our memory is immaculate. Chapter 1, Childhood. Chapter 1, Childhood. Childhood, where life begins. First words, first unsteady steps. You are but a small child learning about the world in which you were born. To you, everything is so new, so baffling, and so unforgiving. A long, trying life stretches before you. So many feats and faults, so many fateful choices to come. Yet you are already sowing the seeds of your future self. You are learning to live and survive in this world, looking for a place within it to call your own. Choosing your future destiny. Who will you grow up to be? Prologue, growing up. In chapters Childhood, Adolescence, and Youth, you will live through your hero's coming of age. You will shape the protagonist's personality, his qualities, and relationships. By the end of the prologue, you will determine the estate and future occupation of your hero. Only in adulthood will he start to influence the world around him and even the ultimate fate of the Empire. Who will Davvon Jr. Brante grow up to be? It's your call. Okay, before we start, I do want to lay out the idea and the vision that I have for this playthrough. I do not want to greatly alter the trajectory that we took through our first playthrough. I want to instead try to survive to see my plans through. I do aim on going back to a noble birth. I do have the intention of maybe avoiding a couple deaths, maybe a couple choices that I made, maybe a couple of relationships a little different. I don't want to go too far into it because I don't want to spoil my plans. But we do plan on going down a similar path to before, but hopefully with some smarter decisions going forward. So we have the fencing lesson, beyond, insight, and the nobleman's sacrament. I want to be able to kiss the sword this time. That'd be kind of cool. We are not going to be spineless. I refuse to be spineless. Destiny screen. Let's begin the chapter. Let us delve back into the life of Sir Davvon Jr. Brante. Real talk though, this is one of the most... This is probably one of my top... I don't want to say top 10 games because I've played a lot of great games. But for what this game was and what I was expecting it to be, it is an amazingly well done game. And it elicits such a good response, like emotionally. You get invested into the game. It's beautiful. A lot of people are like just listening to all their work. They turn on like an audiobook, and it's just, they love it. I love playing it. I was so devastated when the last game ended the way it did. Birth. At first, there was nothing. No time, no sensation. Nothing but darkness and void. But then a will breathed life into nothingness. Matter and spirit were set in motion. History began its march. It was your turn to enter this world. Your first memory, you are lying on your back, blinded by a bright white light. You are not alone. Above you tower the colossal figures of those who created you. Bounce, go, wow, wow. You are a part of them, and they are a part of you. Between you and them is an inexplicable connection, a strong, unbreakable link. They will always watch over you, guard you, and protect you. It hurts to breathe. You let out the pain in the form of a desperate scream. Your creators extend their hand towards you. There are two of them, the ones who made your form from their own selves and brought you into this world. They are united, yet as they lean closer, you begin to see how different they are. You can already feel their differences within you, struggling against each other. The first figure is soft and emphatic, wise and merciful. The love that emanates from it wraps you head to toe like an invisible blanket. The warmth from it is never ending. The second figure is strong and powerful, commanding and noble. It is harsh but fair, a beacon of guidance, a force of protection and merciless punishment for every misdeed. Yet there is also a third figure. It is like a shadow barely seen behind them, yet already pulsing with an unbreakable will to live. It is the very will to live that is now growing ever stronger within you. A soft, open palm, a strong, closed fist, a lingering, distant shadow. You struggle to loosen the swaddling clothes wrapped around you and extend a tiny hand into the world. I'm going to reach out to the fist. Last time I did shadow. I want to see how much of a difference this first choice makes. I'm going to reach out to the fist. Our father helped us through a lot of tough times in our last play. The fist is stiff, coarse, and even unpleasant to the touch, but this firm hand belongs to your father. A tiny newborn, you are helpless before the grown man. Your little hand practically challenges him and his strength, and he accepts the challenge. Your father's fist opens. His hand strokes your little hand gently, if somewhat awkwardly. It is a tender gesture, a glimpse into something he will seldom let show in the years to come. Determination +1. Hey, we're a little less spineless now. Birth, year 1118. Your life in this world begins. How will you live it? We will spread anarchy and destruction. Year 1119. 1 year of age. My, how time flies. Hide and seek. As the days go by, you learn to tell your parents apart. You recognize father by his heavy breathing and strong, cold hands. He visits you rarely. Robert Brant. Hello there, little Davvon Jr. Brant. Mother's tender voice, however, follows you day and night. Lydia Brant. Why, you're growing so quickly, my child. I don't like that voice. We're not going to do that voice again. There are two more children in the family named Stefan and Gloria. Gloria sings songs to you. She often dresses you in tight clothing and gently holds your hands as you learn to take your first steps. Stefan likes to sweep you up and pinch you and toss you into the air. Lydia Brant. Oh, look, this is your brother and sister. Stefan Brant. Yeah, you're my little brother. We're going to play together, but I'll always be in charge because you were born a commoner. Gloria. Be quiet, you. He doesn't understand yet. Come on, baby Davvon Jr. Let's go play in the yard. It is hot outside. You grip your brother's hand with one hand and your sister's with another as they help you walk down the giant stone stairs. Then you sit on the ground and start exploring the sparse blades of grass with your fingers. It tickles. In the sky far above and away from you is a gigantic pillar, a perfectly straight stick made of light. It is so bright, it hurts to look at it. Stefan Brant. Why are you staring at the shining pillar? It's not going anywhere, you know. Hey, I want to play hide and seek. Gloria. He's just a little baby boy. How's he gonna play? Stefan Brant. Then you hide him and I'll try to find both of you. You have no idea what they are talking about, but you support them with happy cooing. This is strange, but so exciting. Stefan and Gloria glance at each other. Then your brother walks to a big tree, closes his eyes, and starts shouting something. Gloria takes your hand and walks you through the yard. Your sister takes you behind some thick bushes by a tall wall. The light from that light stick on the horizon barely reaches here. You can't see home from this place. The ground is crawling with tiny black bugs. Gloria sits you down on the ground and puts a finger to her mouth for some reason, and then she's gone. You can no longer hear Stefan's voice. Gloria is nowhere to be seen. You feel colder. The bugs are no fun to play with. You've been sitting here for a long time, completely alone. Nobody checks on you. Did they forget about you? Did they abandon you? We're gonna find our way home. You get up on your feet, swaying a little bit. Carefully, you take a first step, then lose your balance and plop back down on the ground. But you are determined. You sit up again and keep walking in the direction Gloria went. You walk out of the bushes further toward the wall of the house, and then the most tender and gentle hands in the whole world embrace you and pick you up. Mother has found you. Lydia Brant. There you are. You lean on Mother's chest and hold on to her with your arms. You want her to know that you came here all by yourself without any help. She pats you on the head. Your brother and sister stand behind her, clearly feeling guilty. Gloria is in tears. Stefan is staring at his feet. You hug Mother tightly. She is here now. Hey, we're getting determined. You're 1,120, 2 years of age. They have a loud household. The Great Descent. Another memory. You're still a little child, but you can already talk and run around on your own. Today is out of the ordinary. Father is busy around the house, giving orders to the servants. Throughout the day, the kitchen has been abuzz with work, and there are solemn, gloomy preparations and candles being lit. Even your older brother, Stefan, is quiet today. Mother takes your hand and brings you to your sister, Gloria. Lydia Brant. My son, today is the Great Descent. We honor the day when the twin gods descended to us. We must spend this day in reverence to the gods. You are too young to understand, so just do everything your sister says for now. Gloria takes you to the playroom. There are no toys there, no chairs. Even the carpet has been taken away. There is nothing there but a bare wooden floor. Gloria. Today we're not allowed to go to any other rooms, and we'll be eating nothing but gruel and stale bread. On the day of the Great Descent, everyone must be where they belong. It is quiet. Usually so. Muffled voices from beyond the door are all that you can hear. You are sitting on the cold floor, confused, with no idea what to do. Then you hear your sister's voice, a lonely sound in the empty room. It is a little song that Mother taught her. You hold your breath as you listen to it. Gloria. When the twins came down to Earth, they brought lots for every birth. Let us count them. 1, 2, 3. The twins made them for you and me. Nobles rule and bravely fight. They protect us with their might. Priests work hard to understand, guide us by the twins' commands. Common people work and toil, always patient, never spoiled. Live your light where you were born, to the day when you pass on. Know your lot and know the prayer, for the twins see everywhere. You are transfixed by the tune. Gloria notices your gaze, and a smile creeps across her face. Gloria, you like the rhyme, don't you, Davvon Jr.? Do you know what it's all about? Look, these are the 3 lots. They were brought to us by the twins when they descended to us from the shining pillar. Remember that pillar of light on the horizon? That's it. You can see the shining pillar anytime from anywhere in the world. If you follow your lots as you live, you'll reach the peak of the pillar, and if you don't, you'll get eternal torment at the foot. You and I are lowborn. Mom is a commoner too, so the lot for you and me is to suffer and be patient and work hard. Understand? The priests and the nobles have other lots. The nobles fight and rule over everybody. The priests, well, I'm not really sure what they do, but I guess they talk to the twins and then teach everybody. Gloria stares at you intently. Did you get it, silly? Then she shakes her head and keeps singing the song over and over again. Her voice transfixes you, drawing you in. The room starts to glow like the sky. From this light emerge 2 figures you have known ever since the moment of your birth. One of them embraces your sister's shoulder. The other stands guard behind her back. You watch this happening before your very eyes, unable to turn away. Gloria is swaying to the song, unaware of what is happening. She sings the final verses once more. Know your lot and know the prayer. You feel compelled by this divine sight to express yourself somehow. You feel words condensing within you from the light. But what will these words be? I'm sorry, I'm still rebellious. That is my lot, rebellious. I'm gonna sing the last line wrong, and you know what? There's nothing that you can do about it. Gloria, know your lot and know the prayer. The lots are lies told everywhere. You shout these words, but you have no idea how they came to you. The shining pair standing behind her back turn to look at you. You can feel their gaze piercing you from top to bottom. When the moment passes, they melt into the dim light coming from the window. Now Gloria is staring at you. You see disappointment in her eyes. Gloria, Davvon Jr., that's not the way the song ends. Why did you ruin it? I want to note that I am only 2 years of age and somehow I am able to rhyme. I am proud of myself. You shrug, quite pleased with your cleverness. I am pleased as well because we got a determination point. You're 1,121. Childhood, 3 years of age. I feel like we're mowing through this a little faster than we did the first time through. I think maybe I'm reading a little faster, or maybe I'm more loose with it. I don't know. The second playthrough is always a little bit more chill. You are starting to understand more and more of what the adults say. Your family is an unusual one. Your father is a nobleman, but not by birth. His is a title earned through great service. But your mother is a low-born woman, a commoner. Because of this, you are born a commoner, but father says you may yet come onto nobility. You learn to read at an early age. Together with mother, you read and learn by the heart the many poems about the divine twins, the twin gods who reside upon the shining pillar. Mother calls these poems prayers. Again and again, you try to discern the shapes of the gods in the strip of holy light that shines in the sky all day and night, but the light is too blinding to gaze upon. The greatest joy of all is when the stairs are no longer an insurmountable obstacle. Now you can climb and even jump from step to step. Father urges you to be more careful and avoid climbing too high. But even though you keep falling, you never stop being curious about the world around you. Your older brother Stefan now spends less and less time playing with Gloria and you. Playing with commoners is beneath a nobleman to be, he says. So Gloria calls him names, and Stefan pulls her pigtails. One fine evening, father gathers you in the sitting room with an announcement. You will have another little brother or sister soon. Gloria asks him to bring home a little sister. Another brother would be too much. Stefan gets frustrated. There are too many little siblings getting in his way as it is. Soon you'll be an older brother too, and it doesn't really matter who the youngest will be. A boy or girl, you will love them the most. When father comes back from his trips, he reads his adult books aloud for you. You find those stories of wars, generals, and rebellions quite enchanting. And father approves of your fascination. Robert Brant, study hard, and maybe one day you'll become a noble of the mantle and earn your sword. But first, you need to grow up. Growing up, concept is as terrifying as it is alluring. The lot of suffering. You keep staring at the carpet under your feet. You're both ashamed and proud. It feels odd. A scratch on your hand stings a little. Stefan is standing next to you, sniffling from pain. Your brother was training in the yard with a wooden sword. You wanted to play with him, but he ended up getting angry and throwing the sword at you. The stick hit you in the shoulder. You picked it up and hit him with it. You see mother's shoes walking to and fro on the carpet. You do not want to look up. You would rather not see her angry. She is not as gentle to you these days. Lydia Brant, why did you hurt Stefan Davvon Jr.? I'm sorry, guys. I cannot help but pronounce Davvon Jr. at a very fast, rapid pace. Davvon Jr.? It's just too fun to say. You stammer out an explanation. He hit you first. You just hit him back. Stefan Brant, how dare he pester me like that? When I grow up, I'm gonna hit you with a real sword. I don't know about that one, Chief. Mother shushes you both and speaks to you again. Her voice is stern, and yet you can still feel her concern for you. Even if Stefan hits you, you cannot hit him back. You are my son, and I was born a commoner, Lydia Brant says. Our lot is to suffer, but your brother was born from a noble father and a noble mother. His sacrament is coming soon, and he'll rule over the likes of us. If you hurt a noble, you must be punished. That is your lot. And the sooner you learn it, the better off your entire family will be. Now Stefan looks at you in triumph. You look up at mother in fear, not sure what to do now. Accept our punishment, deny your guilt, or demand an explanation. I don't exactly remember. I think I was rebellious last time. I think we're going to go ahead and accept our punishment this time. You look down and agree with what she just said. You are ready to be punished. You start apologizing to Stefan, but he turns his back on you. Before you can finish, mother takes your hand and leads you away. You do not want to follow her. Her hands are getting sweaty, and your legs are growing weary. Or, I'm sorry, heavy. Then suddenly she stops and bends down to closer look at you. Look you straight into your eyes. Lydia Brant, my son, I see you understand our lot now. We do not defy. We suffer. That is our only path to the twins after all our deaths. Our only way to reach eternal bliss atop the peak of the pillar. Our virtue is meekness. We are humble in our words. We work hard. We think what is right. You've shown all of this. I'm so proud of you. That is what I picked last time. Okay. She hugs you and you finally release the pent-up tears. You feel much more at ease now. You are flogged in front of your entire family. The pain burns on your skin again and again, but you feel the touch of the divine law with each blow. Lydia Brandt is grateful. Okay, so we have a positive familial gain from that. My willpower is exhausted. We only have 5 left, so let's try to save up a little willpower. Having enough willpower to make our choices in the future is gonna be really important. Gloria's rhymes. Mother mostly stays in her chambers now. With each passing day, she grows heavier and her features get rounder. It gets difficult for her to walk, but she still smiles all the time. One day, she takes your hands and puts them on her big belly, and you feel a movement deep inside her. You'll have another brother or sister soon. Gloria takes you on walks to the yard now. You explore the yard together under the evening light of the pillar, and she sings you songs and tells you amazing stories. Gloria. Hey, Davvon Jr., do you want to hear a rhyme? I wrote it myself. There's even a bit about you, but don't tell anyone, okay? Writing poems and songs is only for nobles. If Mother hears about it, I'll get flogged. Remember how you got flogged for hitting Stefan? Our judge is my second father. In the past, I had another. Mother says the twins are great. Says we should not fight our fate. Brother loves to jump around. Please don't fall down on the ground. See, I wrote a little rhyme. Please don't tell them it is mine. But today your sister is nowhere to be seen. She promised to take you to the old pond and show you the red frogs that live there, but then she vanished. The servants join you in your search. Even Mother leaves her chambers when she hears the commotion. Finally, you find Gloria in the far corner of the garden. She was holding a quill and sheets of paper covered in poetry. Mother becomes angry the moment she sees it. She looks through the poetry and her face grows dark with rage. Gloria is standing before her, wringing her hands and looking for an opportunity to run, but there seems to be no escape. Lydia Brandt. What is this nonsense, Gloria? We talked about this. You were told to take care of your little brother. You are absolutely not allowed to entertain yourself with this writing. Gloria. I can decide that for myself, Mom. Lydia Brandt. No, you cannot. It has already been decided by the gods. Gloria. It is not little brother anymore. He doesn't need a nanny. And I need some time alone to think for myself. I'm not hurting anyone. Lydia Brandt. You are a commoner and a future wife. It's time you learned how to properly care for children. Had your disgraceful former father kept me in his house, you could have been born a noble, but that is not your fate, and you are absolutely forbidden from ever spoiling paper and wasting ink again. Mother grabs Gloria by the hand and takes you both into the house. The scribbled sheets fly into the fireplace. Gloria sobs violently. You are a bystander to the scene, unsure of how to act. I don't have enough willpower to do that. I don't have enough perception to do that. I think I just want to leave the room, so maybe we can build up some willpower. You slip out of the sitting room and go back to the playroom before the scene reaches a conclusion. You can still hear Mother yelling and Gloria crying behind your back as you leave. Back in the playroom, you start building a formidable fortress out of wooden blocks to busy yourself. If only you had toy soldiers to storm it. A little later, the playroom door opens. Gloria, you're not mad at me, are you? Shake your head. Gloria, can I stay with you for a while? You nod and return to your game. Gloria sits on the floor in a faraway corner of the room. Willpower, +5. Or +10. All right, we have some willpower now. Which is what I wanted in the end. Year 1122. I missed the age. I think we're 4 or 5 now. Year 1122. Winter, the coming sacrament. Mother is in her armchair, knitting woolen jackets, pants, and socks for the little one. The baby will need to be kept warm, she says. Father spends less time at home now. Mother says he's very busy with this important job. Job? What the hell is a job? With this important job. He is a judge, after all. One day you decide to ask Mother about Stefan and Gloria. How come they're brother and sister to you, but not siblings to each other? Lydia Brandt. Well, my dear, I didn't give birth to Stefan, you see. He's the son of another mother, and Gloria is the daughter of another father. Come now, don't knit your brow like that. You'll understand when you're older. So he's my brother from another mother! How is that even possible? You're all family, are you not? Shh. Several days later, Mother calls Stefan and Gloria to the sitting room. You sneak in after them. At first, Mother gets angry and asks you to leave, but then she relents. You are told to sit still, be quiet, and remember every word that you hear. Lydia Brant. When you enter the temple, bow to the twins, first to the elder on the right, and then to the younger on the left. Stefan, you're a nobleman to be, so walk along the side paved with marble, where the benches are. Gloria, you walk along the sharp side. When you're there, you must go down on your knees, each on your own side. Stefan, kiss the sword. Gloria, my daughter, they will strike you with a lash. Don't be afraid of it. Resign yourself to the suffering it brings. It is the blessings of your lot. Gloria doesn't like the idea of the lash. Oh, shoot, I wouldn't like the idea either. There's a tense feeling in your chest as well. You were told to remember this. Will the lash strike you too one day? On the next day, they take your brother and sister to the temple. You run towards them when they finally come back. The back of Gloria's dress is soaked with blood. She's hunched a bit, sobbing quietly. Stefan is putting on airs, acting prouder than ever. Nothing else looks different about them. It's like all is the same, and yet everything has changed. Each of them has accepted their lot. Stefan Brant, why do I get a -1 for absolutely nothing in this? I do not understand why I get a -1 because he wouldn't kiss the sword. Explain this to me. Get any -1 disagreements? What did I do? Free. Brothers and sisters sacrament. Your siblings, Stefan and Gloria, took their first sacrament at the temple. The newborns cry. You eye the little bundle in your father's arms with curiosity. Behind the many layers of swaddling clothes is your newborn baby brother. Mother is glowing and smiling with joy. Stefan and Gloria are also here, all excited. You promise yourself you're going to be the best big brother in the world. You'll never hit him. Oh no, the two of you will play together and tease Stefan together and help Mother together and go on so many adventures together. It feels so strange to be an older brother. Just the other day you were the youngest in the family, but everything is different now. Your parents name your little brother Nathan. Your mother spends day and night by his side, and Nathan cries all the time, day and night. Mother barely gets any sleep. She is so worn out, she starts forgetting things. Like today, for instance, she forgot her knitting in the armchair at the sitting room. You better bring it back to her as soon as possible. You run to your mother's bedroom. You miss her smile so much. You walk in without saying hello and give her the knitting, but instead of gratitude, you get an ice-cold, exhausted stare. Nathan is also there, screaming all the time. Lydia Brant. Go away, Davvon Jr. You're bothering me. She spits these words out through her teeth. You look at the bawling newborn. She can't even get a minute of respite. Lydia Brant. Enough already. When are you going to stop? I just want some peace and quiet. Mother leaps across the room and starts shaking Nathan with malice in her eyes. His cries get even louder. She looks so tired from his never-ending screams. She seems to be within an inch of smashing him against the wall. Somebody has to do something. You're scared of your mother right now, but you fear for Nathan's life much more. I feel like hugging Mother is still the play here. We're gonna hug her. I liked that decision last time and I was happy with it. You walk up to Mother quickly and lock her tightly in an embrace. Your arms are too short and the folds of her dress get in the way, but that does not stop you. She shudders at your unexpected touch and she tries to free herself. Lydia Brant, let me go. Stop tormenting me. But you only latch onto her even tighter. There's no way you're letting her go now, not even if she screams at you or hits you. No way. You are here now. You'll protect her and comfort her. Nathan stops screaming, and an odd sobbing sound escapes his little baby mouth, as if he's too tired to scream. Mother accepts your sudden presence now. You feel her relax and her movements become calmer, but there is still no way you're letting go. Not yet. Then you hear a quiet song, your mother's song. She's singing a lullaby to Nathan. He squeaks a little, then starts snoring quietly. Then you calm down as well. Mother is now calmer in your embrace. Nathan is breathing quietly in his sleep. Lydia Brant, Now please, let me go, my dear. I have to put Nathan to bed. You release Mother, and she puts Nathan back in the crib. After a little pause, she turns to you. Her face is still weary, but there is no sign of anger. She sits down next to you. Lydia Brant. Thank you, my son. The twins know I didn't want to hurt you or Nathan. I'm so sorry. Please don't be angry with me. You did what you needed to do. You gave me the strength to walk through this. Work, not walk. She hugs you tightly. You do the same and press your forehead against hers. She smells like home. Your tears finally start to flow, but they are tears of happiness now. She pats you on the head and kisses your forehead. Nathan is sleeping quietly in his crib. It feels so good when things are as they should be. Relations. Lydia Brant +1 sympathy. Unity +1 peace. Nathan's birth, year 1122. Your brother Nathan is born. Year 1123, childhood, 5 years of age. At this rate, we might get through childhood in an hour. Toy soldiers, you wake up to Father's touch on your shoulder. He is finally back home after a long trip. Robert Brant. Davvon Jr., today is your special day, the day when you begin your studies. Now teachers will be coming to your home to teach you, and you must do everything they say. Be diligent in your studies, and you will grow closer to the nobleman's lot. And since you must remember this day, a present is in order. Lydia, get our little schoolboy dressed. I am taking him to the market district. Stefan wants to come with you too, but Father shushes him sternly. This is your day. Your elder brother is hurt to hear this, but stays quiet. An open carriage takes the two of you through the dusty, noisy city streets, a pleasant wind tussling your hair. Your city is called Anazat. That you already know. It is one of the largest cities in the entire empire. There is a big shadow on the street. It comes from the white foliage of the enormous tree that spreads its branches all above the city. Robert Brant. My son, did you know that the silver tree grew from the blood of our God's own disciples? It has been growing here for hundreds of years, right in our city. It cannot be damaged or burned. Not even the clergy know why. The carriage comes to a halt by a small shop next to a city square. You run there and freeze by the stalls in excitement. The shop is packed with dolls and figurines and toys. You've never seen so many at once before. Have you chosen your present yet? Father asks. You have. You want the Holy Order set, which includes several figurines of the Empire's greatest warriors of all time. You rattle off everything you know about the Holy Order. They were the ones who aided the Emperor's own forces in seizing the province of Magra and storming our city. That's how we joined the Empire. Father nods in approval. Robert Brant. Very well. War isn't your lot for now, but maybe these toy soldiers will teach you to think like a general. We will lead them into battle and study military strategy. Go ahead, take your present. Having said this, Father turns away to examine the books. You run to the box of toy soldiers, delirious with excitement, but there's a fancy-dressed boy in your way. He is about to take your warriors for himself. He elbows you aside and reaches for the box. Anger overcomes you, and you push him from behind. Your opponent falls to the floor. The rich boy screams so loudly everybody in the shop hears it. He hit me! He hit me! A tall tower of a man looms over you. This is the boy's father. But then you feel your own father's hands on your shoulders. Robert Brant. What happened? You press against Father, your mind more at ease. He will protect you. Yes, you did shove the boy to the floor in front of everyone, but he tried to take your present for himself. But Father turns around to face him when he hears these words. Robert Brant. Is this true, Davvon Jr.? Did you strike the son of a nobleman? I will admit my guilt. I will admit my guilt. You recall your mother's words. If you hurt a noble, you must be punished. There is no use trying to lie to escape it. You say it was all your fault. You push the other boy to the floor because you wanted to get your present before him. Father nods to you, relieved to hear it, and the enraged nobleman grabs you by the hand and drags you out onto the street. The law is the law, and your punishment is due. They lead you and the nobleman's son out of the shop. You're too told to bow to him and show humility. A bad feeling sends a shiver down your spine. With a satisfied grin on his face, the boy swings his arm and slaps you on the cheek. He strikes you again and again. Father stays quiet all the while, but as you ride home after the punishment is over, he shows you a rectangular package. Robert Brant, I am proud to see you living by your lot. A common birth leads to a life of humility, and you told the truth and accepted your punishment like a man. This present is yours, my son. Inside is a little box with tin soldiers of the holy orders inside. Inside is a little box with the tin soldiers of the holy order. They are your reward for humility. And we still got enough willpower. We can make it work. You're 1,124, 6 years of age. You're 1,124, summer, the family dinner. Today, Father ordered the dinner table to be brought out into the yard. For the first time in months, he's home, outside of the confines of his always locked study. He spent the entire day playing with Nathan and you, discussing various matters with Stefan, now an adolescent, and walking in the garden, and now a dinner under the open sky. Your entire family gathers together, with Father at the head of the table, smiling. He asks each of you about your studies. Nathan climbs up on his knee and recites a counting rhyme in a funny sing-song voice. Stefan mentions that his fencing teacher praised his accomplishments. He rises from the table together with Father to show his skill in a practice duel. Next comes Gloria's turn. She stands on her chair and recites a lengthy prayer by heart. Mother showers your sister with praise. Father chuckles quietly, hiding a smile in his mustache. When your turn comes, you recite all the ranks in Legion, from common soldier to high commander. Stefan listens to you with a skeptical look on his face. Night slowly falls, but the servants ensure that the yard is well illuminated. You don't feel cold in the dusk tonight. He feels good, yet so important. All of you are finally together, sitting at the same table. No fighting, just smiles. No arguing, just pleasant small talk. Then a servant approaches Father with a letter in his hand. He reads it in the dim light, and each line gradually washes the smile off Father's face, until only a stone-cold mask remains. Mother looks at Father with an unspoken question in her eyes. Robert Brant. Gregor Brant is coming to Anazat. He is the head of our family. My father. We're gonna avoid this death. Grandfather's return, year 1,124. Your grandfather, Gregor Brant, return to the family, home from the capital. The intrusion. Ever since the news of grandfather's impending arrival, there has not been a single day when the house has not been cleaned or decorated. Your parents anxiously make sure everything is in order. They tell you to wash your face and hands after walks and scold you for leaving books on the floor. They tell Gloria she'll be flogged if she is ever seen hiding in the attic. They make Stefan stay in his room. Even baby Nathan gets in trouble. Everyone is on edge. Then one day, grandfather arrives. It is a grim day. So hot your neck is sticky with sweat. Father, Mother, Stefan, Gloria, and you. And Nathan. The entire Brant family stands on the porch in front of the house. The house servants lined up behind you. The carriage arrives and out steps a tall, gaunt old man with a heavy walking stick and a heavier gaze. You cringe instinctively. Robert Brant. Good health to you, Father. Children, greet your grandfather as you have been taught. Gregor Brant. Still trying to look like a real nobleman, are you? You can't fool me, Robert. I was the first of the Brant family to be ennobled by the mantle, and I'm the only one who remembers how to bear this burden properly. Robert Brant. I live honorably by my lot. Gregor Brant. Your marriage to that lowborn wench cuts us off from ever becoming nobles of the sword. My progeny could have been born to bearing noble blood. Robert Brant. Father, I beg you, this is not the place. Grandfather eyes him with scorn and walks into the house, the entire family following close behind him. Gregor Brandt. I have been away far too long. The entire house is a mess. This is an insult. How could you live in such a pigsty, Robert? The servants have grown far too lazy, all thanks to your commoner of a wife. I warned you, did I not? And yet you did as you saw fit. And the children, what do they know of tradition or honor? Robert Brandt. They are being raised in a virtuous family, father. Gregor Brandt. And now you're speaking like a lowborn who's content to live in humility. Twins willing, now that I am here, this will not happen again. I am taking your oldest son to the capital. I see you cannot provide Stefan with a proper education, so I'll correct your mistake. Your brother's face has been decided just like that. Not fate. Fate. Wait. Rewind. Your brother's fate has been decided just like that. Father does not object. He orders the servants to prepare Stefan for the journey. Stefan freezes in place, glancing at grandfather and father again and again. The latter puts a hand on his shoulder, reassuringly. Grandfather's lips are a tight line, white with contempt. The house is examined, room after room. Everything grandfather sees is showered with scorn. He scoffs at a crease on a blanket in Nathan's crib and mother's bedroom. He mocks Gloria's knitting in her room. The door to your room is next. Gregor Brandt. What is this? Robert, tin soldiers in your younger son's room? He was born a commoner. I won't have him daydreaming of battle. Grandfather seizes the box containing the 10 warriors of Holy Order. Your father stays silent. Anger and fear boil within you. This is your big present from the first day of your studies. It means so much to you. But what if he's right? What if you need to prove you're right to command the toy soldiers first? Grandfather shakes his head in disapproval and shoves the toy box into the roaring fireplace. If you wait too long, they will melt into the flames. Last time I struck grandfather and he beat the ever-living tar out of me. We're gonna go ahead and save a life here. You watch your beloved present, the token of father's love and care, burn before your very eyes. The tin melts. The unpleasant smell of burning paint fills the air. For a moment, you cannot breathe. You see no reason to maintain your composure. The tears start flowing, burning your cheeks and staining your shirt. You hide your face in your hands, and then you hear grandfather's voice dripping with disdain. Gregor Brandt. So this boy is a weakling, just like his mother. Why did I lose willpower for this? What? Okay. At least I didn't die a death this time, though. We take those. Year 1124. Fall, the master of the house. Soon, grandfather leaves. Your elder brother Stefan goes with him. From that day on, father's hired teachers tend to you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, and the way of life, and the blessed Archean Empire. You often distract yourself from their instruction by playing with your younger brother Nathan. Your home grows quiet without your elder brother. Too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stefan. Grandfather has sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he is now studying hard in preparation for his service as a nobleman. Stefan Brandt. The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permission. But I've been studying with my peers who are learning how to live lives as nobles in a noble society. We're also learning the art of swordplay. That's my favorite part. With Stefan now at the boarding school, grandfather arrives once more, this time to live in your home. The only good thing is that he often has urgent business in Eterna, the capital of the empire, and has to travel there. One day, you ask your mother where he lived before. In Eterna, she says, but now his place is here. Each time grandfather returns, he gives the servants new orders. Your home is now always busy with repairs. The servants are redecorating grandfather's chambers, including his library and sitting room. Sometimes father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the house to constant reconstruction? Grandfather's answer is always the same. Gregor Brandt. This home is mine, and I will live here as befits a man of nobility. An illustrious guest. Some days grandfather stays home, and on those days you try your best to stay out of his sight, but there is no way you can avoid family breakfast. The food is there, but you cannot bring yourself to eat it. Mother's eyes are red and swollen. She has been crying all night again. Grandfather sits at the head of the table where nobody used to sit before. Gregor Brandt. Robert, it is high time your youngest sons underwent their sacraments. Lydia Brandt. There, Brandt, please let them live free of the lot for a while longer. There, but... Gregor Brandt. Shut your mouth! Robert, that wife of yours is impertinent enough to interrupt me. If this ever happens again, she'll be eating her gruel with the servants in the kitchen where she belongs. It is time you consider a real marriage, Robert. One to a woman of the proper station. Gloria drops her fork. Grandfather shoots her a scathing look. A tear rolls down Mother's cheek. Father does not look away from his plate, his hands clenched into fists. Gregor Brandt. Baroness L. Loder is one such woman. She is a comely widow and a fine match. She is suing for her inheritance right now and could use proper support and a husband. You can keep your lowborn Lydia around if you like. Servant, mistress, I don't care. Robert Brandt. I will not do that, Father. Gregor Brandt. I am the head of this family, and the family standing took a severe blow after you married that commoner. It is unthinkable. How could you give up on the memory of beautiful Amelia L. Bourne for this lowly woman and that bastard child of hers? But now you have a chance to set things right. Don't disappoint me. Man, doing Gregor's voice kills my throat, dude. Father nods curtly, trying not to look in Mother's direction. Robert Brandt. Father, I wish to see Stefan. Gregor Brandt. If I find your conduct in the Baroness's presence satisfactory enough, then you may see him. She is coming for a visit tomorrow. Be prepared. Grandfather wipes his mouth with his napkin, throws it onto his plate, and leaves. Mother's lips move silently. Nobody says a word. Then Father stands up and orders you and the other children back to your rooms. He needs to speak to Mother in private. Father comes to your room before bedtime. He sits on the edge of the bed and adjusts a crease on the woolen blanket. He distances himself from you after Stefan's departure, so you are not used to such attention from him. In the candlelight, you can see his face in the dark. There's a sour expression on it. Robert Brandt. My son, Baroness M.N.L. Loder will be visiting us tomorrow. Please be polite and treat her with respect. Nathan will do as you do. I want this dinner to be as immaculate as possible. Don't let me down. On the next day, Mother starts dressing you and Nathan for the coming dinner. You see red all around her eyes. She's been crying, and for a long time. It hurts just to look at her. Nathan starts whining quietly. You and Nathan are dressed in new doublets, your tousled hair brushed into shape. Gloria is told to stay in her room. Father appears wearing his best suit. Mother is in a humble brown dress, looking pale. Grandfather has an uncharacteristically contented look about him. You hear the sound of wheels and hooves against the cobbles in the yard, then a pair of dainty heels come clacking. The antechamber is completely quiet and still, fearing Grandfather's observant eyes. Door opens. You see your guest, a beautiful dark-haired woman in a dress of elegant deep blue. Father takes the hand of Lady L. Loder and kisses it, showering her in compliments. Grandfather's face is beaming in her presence. No one even bothers to introduce Mother. Gregor Brandt. Baroness, allow me to introduce you Robert's son, Davvon Jr. and Nathan Brandt. Frankly, it's his eldest Stefan who deserves the most attention, but currently, he is studying in Eterna with other young noblemen like himself. It is my hope that his younger sons will also make me proud one day. Grandfather eyes you with a probing look. How will you act in front of the Baroness? Will you accept her right here next to your mother, your father's rightful wife? I'm going to demand that Mother be introduced. I think that I passed the death. I'm pretty sure from me kicking or hitting our grandfather was when my death happened originally. So I'm going to go ahead and demand that Mother be introduced. And I actually have no issues with pissing off Grandfather. Gregor's a beehole. You follow Father's example and kiss the Baroness's fingers gently. Her laughter fills the antechamber, ringing like chimes. Behind your back, you can hear Mother sobbing. Grandfather nods to you in approval. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Mother quietly walking upstairs. No, this is wrong. This cannot be. You walk up to Father, look him into the eye, and ask in a voice loud enough to be heard by everyone. Why didn't he introduce Mother to the guest? She is his legal wife and your mother, is she not? There is silence. Mother stops on the stairs and turns her head in surprise. Father is confused. Nathan starts whining again. Grandfather grinds his teeth, his hand tightly gripping the heavy walking stick. Keep Father transfixed by your gaze. After a few moments that feel like an eternity, he winks at you, almost imperceptibly, then adjusts his doublet and turns to your noble guest. Robert Brant. Baroness, allow me to introduce Lydia Brant, my wife and mother to my younger children. Lydia, would you be so kind as to join us for dinner? Gregor Brant. What are you saying, Robert? Robert Brant. Father, it would be a disgrace to hold a family dinner without the lady of the house. Father marches up the stairs and offers his hand to Mother. She accepts it and walks down with a shy smile on her face. For the first time in those many days, the Baroness presses her lips in contempt at the sight. After a long moment, Grandfather finally breaks the uneasy silence and leads everyone into the dining room. Mother sits at the furthest corner of the table, claiming that she needs to watch over Nathan. There is barely any small talk over dinner, apart from the Baroness and Grandfather discussing her widowhood and inheritance litigation. Father and Mother did not say a word throughout the meal, yet they no longer look as tense as the day before. There is not even a mention of any potential marriage. As soon as the door closes behind the Baroness, you flee to your bedroom and lock the door. Grandfather's heavy footsteps can already be heard in the hallway. He is a force of anger, eager to get his hands on you. Gregor Brant. Whelp! You had the nerve to interfere in the adults' affairs. You ruined the dinner with the Baroness. Open the door this instant and face the punishment you deserve. Then suddenly his voice dies down. You hear Father speaking quietly. Robert Brant. We both realize there is nothing can be done. No other marriage, Father. Wait, let me restart. Robert Brant. We both realize there could be no other marriage, Father. I already have a wife, and there is nothing to be done about it. I'm sorry, Father, but you will have to accept it. And please leave my son alone. He only helped me face the truth and nothing else. Grandfather huffs and puffs and blows. I'm just kidding. At a loss for words. You hear the head of the Brant family and his adult son retreat from the door of your room. It seems there will be no punishment today, after all. Grandfather leaves for Eterna, alone. About a fortnight later, Father receives a letter from Stefan. It seems Grandfather told him about the incident and with the Baroness, and so the letter is full of ire. He writes that you have reminded him high society about Father's marriage to a lowborn woman, and now the family's reputation is at stake. Father winces when he reads Stefan's letter, deep in thought, but Mother is smiling at him because of Father's actions, in her joy a quiet, happy glow. Yo, Gregor Brant hates me, nothing new there. Reputation, okay. Big mistake, can't let our reputation take these hits, but I think I stood the ground in the right spot. Year 1125. Childhood. 7 years of age. The Kaleidoscope. Yo, this is some kooky music, and I love it. Father now checks on your studies often and nitpicks you for sitting or eating or speaking in an incorrect fashion. I'm sorry, I'll stop. Father now checks on your studies often and nitpicks you for sitting or eating or speaking in an incorrect fashion. Once he becomes so annoyed, he says that he wishes Stefan had been the one to stay home instead of you. You never expected to hear these words from your father, of all people. Grandfather's trip to the capital took longer than expected. It feels lighter around the house without his presence. You allow yourself a little change of scenery. Instead of your own room, you now busy yourself with reading and calculations in the sitting room across from the open door to the yard. Gloria has joined you today. She has already helped you progress through several complex passages in the book. Right now, she seems preoccupied with a strange tube. Aren't you hurt by the way grandfather treats you, you ask? Gloria just shrugs. Gloria. Grandfather always says that you should get rid of me. I'm used to it now. He hurts you a lot worse because you're closer to him. I just have to stay out of his way, that's it. She shows you the strange tube that she's been holding all day. Gloria. Look, it's a kaleidoscope. I got it as a gift. Want to see inside? Excited by the idea, you close the book and peer into the tiny hole on the end of the tube. Your eye sees a multitude of intricate patterns. Each turn of the tube reveals a new web of interwoven colors. They mesmerize you. The kaleidoscope turns the fire burning in the fireplace into a cavalry made of flames. You're riding at the front of the fiery horseman, ready to face the enemy. Grandfather's face emerges from the intersecting lines, and you swing the kaleidoscope like a sword, cutting it in half. Now you look at the blue sky through the window. The patterns are unending, secretive, and calm and peaceful, just like Father's smile before Grandfather's invasion. The deep blue gives way to a scattering of gold radiating gentle warmth, like Mother's arms. This fleeting beauty too soon gives way to a hypnotic new pattern. Again and again you see your family in these interconnecting figures as they come together and break apart. And in the middle of this golden glow, you see Gloria's green eyes, gazing at you observantly. Your sister left you long ago. The books are abandoned and time slips away unchecked, but you're still busy peering into the kaleidoscope. Order emerges from the chaos before your eyes again and again, but you cannot preserve it, no matter how you try. You are caught in an inner conflict. There is so much that can be done with this kaleidoscope. Should you take it apart? Or ask Gloria how it works? You keep enjoying the patterns it shows you, but you still have lessons to do today. Guess we're gonna keep looking through the kaleidoscope. I think it's the same thing I did last playthrough as well. You continue peering into the ever-changing patterns the kaleidoscope offers you. They become truly interesting when you point at the shining pillar gleaming in the sky. In your mind's eye, one battle follows another, filling your ears with clanging steel and the neighing of horses. You are leading the Imperial Army now. Everybody is so proud of you. Grandfather says you are better than Stefan. And Father's stern voice cuts your daydreams short. You lost all track of time. It is evening now. Robert Brant. How did you get your hands on this toy, Davvon Jr.? Why aren't you studying? Give it to me. You'll have double the lessons tomorrow. Sweet temptation. Grandfather's visits are no longer a cause for fear and panic in the house. He has become something you are used to, something nagging yet not unordinary, like a splinter or stain on your trousers. The detention still remains, however. Sir Gregor's disdain for everyone in the house is so palpable it almost stings for real. Your lessons with the tutor are done for today. You are walking down the stairs when you spot Gloria peeping into the sitting room through a slightly open door. You sneak up on your sister and tap her lightly on the shoulder. She is startled. Gloria. Oh, it is you, Davvon Jr. Look, Sir Gregor's eating something. Grandfather is sitting on the sofa, flipping through a book with one hand and reaching for a glass bowl with another now and then. Inside the bowl, you see candied fruit, a sweet confectionery forbidden to the common estate, like all sweet things are. Yet Grandfather's face shows no pleasure as he keeps consuming the highborn treats. The clock strikes 3. Grandfather rises from his seat, puts away the bowl on a shelf, and leaves for the yard. He always takes a walk in the city at this time. Gloria nudges you with her elbow and looks at the candy bowl when you look at her. The first emotion you feel is fear, but next comes curiosity, and it is stronger. Stefan used to boast that the candied fruit tastes incredible, and now you have a perfect opportunity to try it. Try a candied fruit first. The sugar starts to melt as soon as you put it on your tongue. It is so sweet. You have never eaten anything as good as this. You take the whole bowl off the shelf and give it to your sister. She takes a fruit and brings it to her mouth, carefully, like a rare treasure. There is a thumping on the stairs, footsteps accompanied by the knocking of a walking stick. You have no idea why, but Grandfather is back. You quickly hide behind the sofa and pull Gloria after you, but she is frozen in place with the bowl in her hands. The door opens. Grandfather's menacing figure advances on Gloria. His hand seizes her arm. Gregor Brandt. You squalid, ungrateful, lowborn child. How dare you bite the hand that feeds you? You and your trollop of a mother should be sleeping in a ditch if it weren't for my spineless son. The sweet and pleasant things in life are for the noble estate, not for the likes of you. Did you forget your lot? His hand swings and hits Gloria on the cheek. She falls to the floor right next to where you are hidden. His fingers glisten with the warm melted sugar that brought you here. Sorry, her fingers. Grandfather advances again, his walking stick ready, but then he sees you huddling behind the armchair. Gloria, please don't hurt him, Sir Brante. This is all my fault. He tried to stop me. You can already see a bruise on Gloria's cheek. This is only the beginning of her punishment. Gloria was caught red-handed, unlike you. You can still avoid your punishment. Gregor Brandt. What is it then, milk sup? Did you try the sugar too? Or were you trying to stop this piece of filth like she says? I'm gonna tell the truth. Last time we were able to make fun of him. You stand up and tell the truth, even though it takes you an effort to do it. You actually ate a candied fruit, but Gloria only touched it. You hope this will help your sister avoid punishment. You are quickly proven wrong. Grandfather's face is red with rage. He strikes you both with his walking stick, blow for blow. Keeps hitting you until he grows tired, and then he leaves you where you are. Soon enough, Mother comes in to find the two of you on the floor, too afraid to move. She shakes your head in disappointment. You are badly hurt and covered in bruises, yet she still forces you to kneel and recite the precepts on the lots and how important it is to follow them. Then you stand before Father and Grandfather and swear never to take things that do not belong to you again. Got better relationship with her. Okay. Yeah. The sacrament. Father and Mother have been focusing on you and Nathan since your early morning. Instead of breakfast, you were told to say your prayers, wash your hands and faces, and get dressed in plain white shirts. Today is the day of your sacrament. Oh my god, breakfast sounds amazing right now. After I get done reading this, you guys, I am literally going to stop what I'm doing, start the upload and the editing so I can do this because I have to transfer from one computer to another. I'm going to go into my kitchen. I'm going to boot up my griddle. I'm going to make 3 slices of bacon, 3 rounds of sausage, and 2 sunny side up eggs with cheese over top of it. And it is going to be amazing. I just wanted to share. Nathan Brandt. Mother, I want to go play in the yard. Lydia Brandt. No playing today. You and Davvon Jr. are big boys now. It is time for you to both have your first sacrament. Noah can live without a lot. I'm sorry if I made anybody hungry. Nathan Brandt. I don't want a lot. Robert Brandt. Be quiet and listen. You are born commoners. You must accept a lowborn lot before the twins. When you grow up, you will get a chance to earn a noble lot. Father and Mother take you to the carriage. Nathan is hungry. He starts whining. Grandfather's last to get in the carriage. His eyes are on you and your brother, looking for every fault. Soon the carriage is moving along the streets of Anazat, slowly and solemnly. One more turn and you see the colossal white building marked by 2 massive pillars. For the first time in your life, you are to enter the Church of the Twin Gods. You enter the gate and walk under the splendorous dome of the church. The church hall is divided into 2 halves. They are drastically different from one another. The floor on one side is rough and jagged and covered in dried brown spots, while the floor on the other side is made of smooth marble. The commoners kneel on the jagged floor, and the well-dressed nobles and their families sit on pews. Father and Grandfather leave you to sit on one of the nobles' pews. Mother walks to the rough side of the stone on the commoner's side and gets down on her knees. You see her wince in pain, for the lowborn estate shall suffer in the house of the faith. The church acolytes surround you and lead you to the altar, where you and the other children will take your sacrament this day. Before you stands a tall priest, dressed in black with a sword in one hand and a hefty whip in the other. Nathan's whining grows louder. He dislikes this place. He is scared. You remain quiet, but in your stomach roils in uneasy anticipation. The first child to take the sacrament is a jaunty little boy from a family of nobles. The priest extends the sword before him and recites the word of his lot. From this day forth he will fight and rule and pursue the arts his mind now forever free from the throes of suffering, for he now belongs to the noble lot. The boy proudly touches the flat of the blade with his lips. Nathan is next to receive the sacrament. He suddenly snaps out of his fearful trance and tries to break free, but the acolyte pulls him toward the altar and throws him on the jagged floor on the lowborn side. The sharp edges bite into Nathan's knees as he lands, spraying drops of blood around him. Nathan Brant, I don't wanna. Davvon Jr., why do they want to whip me? What did I do? You try to break free and run to Nathan's side. You want to give him courage and protect him, but the acolyte's grip on you is too firm. You feel utterly hopeless. Little brother has to face the world all by himself. Priest starts reciting the words of the lot as he swings the lash over Nathan's shoulders. From this day forth, Nathan, thou shalt endure and work and suffer. Thou shalt be ardent in thy labor and humble in obedience to thy rulers. And now cometh thy first true suffering, which thou must accept with gratitude. The lash cracks. It strikes his right shoulder. It strikes his left shoulder. The blows are so powerful that Nathan falls to the floor. The priest tells him to rise. He has received his lot. Nathan gets on his feet and drags himself towards mother, his torn and bloodied, spirit broken. It is your turn. Your feet will not move. You can barely muster enough strength to walk to the altar. You get down on your knees and feel the sharp stones below. So sharp your clothing cannot protect you. Your skin begins to burn. The acolyte forces your head down, and you feel the lash being drawn above you, ready to strike. The priest's words are for you now. This is thy sacrament. Thou shalt work, endure, and suffer. Thou art about to receive thy first suffering by the sacred lash. Dost thou accept thy lot? Oh, we can kiss the sword. But I want to do this one. Okay, I wanted to kiss the sword last time. I feel like this might end in a true death for me, but I'm going to do it anyway. It might be worth the risk. I want to see what happens. The whip slices the air, about to strike, but your eyes are transfixed on the blade the priest holds in his other hand. You jump up and away. The lash misses you. You grab the blade with your hands. It cuts them into them without mercy. The priest wrenches it away from your bloody fingers. You look him straight in the eye. I am Davvon Jr. of House Brant. The priest freezes in shock. You seize this moment to pull the sword closer and kiss the smooth, cold blade. You hear cries of outrage among the churchgoers. Mother prostrates herself on the jagged floor, racked with fear. Father remains still, baffled by what you have just done. But grandfather looks at you intently, as though truly seeing you for the first time. A semblance of respect in his gaze. You are forced back to the commoner's place at the altar. The acolytes seize you by the arms and legs and keep your face bent closely to the bloody, jagged stones of the floor. The lash strikes your right shoulder, then your left shoulder. Then you are told to rise. You are a commoner. Mother takes your hand and leads you out of the church. Once you are outside, she scolds you for being insubordinate and bringing shame to your family. Nathan holds your hand as well, his tearful face a mix of confusion and awe as he looks into your eyes. Do not feel as though you have made a mistake. You did what was right for you. Okay? Honestly, I can live with this decision. The sacrament. You've taken your first sacrament and received the commoner's lot. Nobleman's sacrament event has happened. You challenge the sacred order and attempt to seize a noble lot. Year 1125. Childhood's end. The mark left on you by the sacrament takes a long time to heal. Mother says it is a reminder of your lot, suffering and sufferance, pain and patience. Gloria shows you the mark of the lash on her shoulder one day. It will never disappear. You are a commoner now. This is the lot you were born into. But Father keeps telling you to study hard so you may yet earn a different lot and become a noble of the mantle. You recall the past with warm sadness, when Stefan still lived with you, or when he wrote to you for a time shortly after he left. Now he thinks it beneath him to write to the commoners in his family. Mother didn't lock herself in the bedroom as often back then. This changed shortly before Nathan was born. Most importantly, you missed a time before the terrifying figure of your grandfather was constantly looming over you. You learn the true power of the lot only after the head of the family's arrival. In Grandfather's eyes, no commoner deserves to be treated with kindness. Is this just him, or is it the way of the entire world? The very thought makes you queasy. You are older now, and what's more, you are an elder brother now. You've learned how to care about someone else, how to teach and protect. Soon, you are a small boy no longer. As the day passes, play gradually gives way to laborious studies. Now your choices will decide your place in the bizarre and ruthless world of your childhood. Your childhood years are over. That is the end of childhood. As always, guys, thank you for watching, taking time out of your day to hang with me as we play through this again. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Honestly, we could already tell I've made some different choices this time around, and I don't regret any of them. But on a positive note, we have saved one life. That is the biggest takeaway that I have from this second playthrough already. We have one more life in our back pocket that we did not have before. Let me know what you guys think of the changes that I made this time through. I'm very proud of myself for being able to kiss the sword this time. There was an option I wanted to unlock the last playthrough and I was not able to. I'm very happy that we were able to achieve that. Again, I know I've already said it, but I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Thank you for taking time to watch the video. You guys don't even understand how much it means to me for people taking time out and watching the content that I make. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Want to get some music for this?
Nope.
How long will that go?
You said 30 seconds.
How long have I been going?
10.
Am I doing it right?
I have no idea. I'm not even
Is this
watching.
30 long?
No comment.